Hello and welcome to another exciting installment of Active. I'm your host, Raymond Muriku, and you know what time it is, right? I keep Joburgers fit 247. Today on Active, we take on wheelchair sports with rules that have been designed to ensure that people who have a variety of mobility impairments can play physically demanding and competitive sports in their wheelchairs. They provide adapted sport environments that encourage wheelchair users to become wheelchair athletes. And first off, we're starting off with wheelchair tennis. Welcome to another installment of Active, and I'm here to join the South African national team in regards to wheelchair tennis, just to get a grip more about the sport and just to improve my swing. Let's go.
Wheelchair tennis is like able-body tennis. The only difference is wheelchair tennis players have two bouncers instead of one. And to be eligible to play wheelchair tennis, you gotta have a deformity in your lower extremities, which is your legs. It's actually one of the biggest disabled sports in the country, if not the biggest one. We got over 500 players nationally who are playing in all the different categories, which is the men's, the women's, and in the quad division. So we got a pretty solid foundation and a good pipeline of players in the country. And then as far as the way we are compared to the rest of the world, we are in the top three of the biggest programs worldwide.
I'm currently ranked number one in the men's division locally, and then internationally I'm ranked number 12. Getting involved with the sport, it started during my primary, school days, whereby this thing was just introduced. It was like a year introduced in the school. That was like 2206. And then I got into the sport 2007. It's just one of those, going to try things. Tennis wasn't really the first choice sports, but it came to a point whereby kind of enjoying it, and I really want to see myself doing better in it. I've been in the sport for 9 years to 10 years now, so it's grown, in me. I've seen different cultures in different countries. We have youngsters that are really doing great, are coming to the top as well. They're showing a great, potential. They've got energy. Alwandes Kosana, Mpomhlongo, they're really doing great, and those are the young guys that I would say in the next coming, 4 years, they will be showing, rising our flag up for South Africa.
I'm currently number 1 in the country and number 6 in the world. My short-term goals will be actually making it to the number 1 in juniors this year. Then my long-term goals is to be number 1 in the whole world in men's. I started playing the sport in 2009 when I was 9 years old. I was still in Harding Special School in KZN province. Then after 2 years playing the sport, I played my first tournament, which was here in Johannesburg. Because I wanted to actually carry on with my career, I came here to Johannesburg because there were less schools who actually involved in wheelchair tennis under KZN province. The challenge is actually balancing the sport as well as academic roles. It's very hard because sometimes I get a chance to play outside a tournament out of the country. So when I actually come back, there will be actually lots of work that I need to recover. My advice will be actually to people living with disability. People with disability are shy, they don't want to come out. So I would like to say, if you actually living with disability, don't be scared to actually be around people. Just come out, then you will actually find your talent.
I'm Ray for Joburg Today.
Hey, what up? This is Boots, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Join the conversation by following us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, it's at Joburg Today, and simply like our Facebook page, that's joburgtoday.tv. And do not forget to use the hashtags Joburg Today, hashtag Active, and hashtag. Now, moving on to a second story, I got to join the Mawila boys who are shooting some hoops, getting ready for November for the World Cup qualifiers. Let's go. The same inspiration comes in waves and never stops. It will keep crushing your soul until you embrace its motion. Welcome to another installment of Active, where I'm joining the Cecil Amawila boys, the South African national team for the wheelchair basketball.
Wheelchair basketball was actually introduced for the guys that were injured in the war, and they thought there was nothing after their war, so there is life after disability, and that's why they introduced wheelchair basketball for them.
Exactly like normal basketball, the hoop's the same size, the court's the same size. Only thing is we're sitting down, so it makes it 10 times more difficult because the hoop looks higher.
With the disability guys, they've had motor car accidents, born with polio. We go to the rehab centres, we try and introduce them into the game and show to them, man, there's life after disability.
I was introduced to the sport, when I was still in high school. I always wanted to, do wheelchair sports, and wheelchair basketball being adrenaline and a team sport, that was the nicest pitch for me.
I was in hospital for around about 3 months, and they take you out to different sports and tell you what's this, what's that, what you can do afterwards, and that's how I came to the sport, and I just loved it.
We do have the talent, and now the only thing is for us to nourish the talent, and work even harder,
The competition level is much higher than what it is back home in New Zealand, and I'm driven by the high intensity, so I come here to develop my skills and my passion for the game.
As you can see, these guys are super fast. They fall out of their chairs, they get themselves back in. The only difference between them and us, we've got legs, their legs are their wheels. The local competition is pretty strong. We've got 6 teams in our Super Sports series. Okay, and they're competing for big money at the end of the day. So we get international exposure because we go outside the country or outside Africa and we compete there.
I went to 2012 Olympics, and if you have 5 to around about 15,000 people looking at you, it's quite an honor.
There are day-to-day challenges, for example, our wheelchairs, they are expensive, and internationally they do have the funds available, and probably they'll be using a wheelchair say for 2 years and just change it again. Whereas with us, we are not that fortunate, and we are playing with a wheelchair for more than 5 years, and a wheelchair standard, basketball wheelchair, after 5 years it's old.
Hello everyone, my name is Kanyam Kangisa and you are watching Joburg Today.
For more news in the city, do check out our playlist. Now, before we close the show, I'd really like to say today's show was all about inspiration and motivation, that people with disabilities are normal people too. Let's keep on supporting them and showing them love. Despite, at the end of the day, there's always hope for everyone. That's all for me, Ray. That's the Joburg Today crew. Stay active.